I'd like to welcome you all, those of you who were here yesterday and or the day before. Welcome back to our experimental pilot training. It's great to have you with us. This is organized by GPPAC, the Global Partnership for Prevention of Armed Conflict, and the emphasis is very much on prevention. And it's a member-led network of civil society organizations that is truly global as it works on conflict prevention and peace building across the world, starting in New York in 2005 with a global event and continuing to work horizontally in 15 regions across the globe. Here you can see in this map that, and every region is active at the level of civil society and making this shift from reaction to prevention. And our working group, the Improving Practice Working Group, which I chair, I'm Lucy, by the way, and I'm here as chair of this group, our aim is to really improve the tools that we have for this prevention. And some of this is printed toolkits, which you can access through the GPPAC website, and some of it is through trainings. And this is a pilot for online workshops and trainings. As you see also, we work very much around the principles of human security and multi-stakeholder processes, and also on conflict analysis. This is not only here we are on our group. This is Tatjana, who some of you met 2 days ago, who will also be here facilitating today, and John, who presented yesterday. This is Zal, who also spoke. There is other people, Pam, other members of the group. So this was in Vienna 2 years ago. However, today, since we can't meet anymore face-to-face for trainings, we want to try really to be experimenting with online training, even to the extent today we want to try breakout groups. Tatjana will explain more about this. Tatjana, on Tuesday, just as a quick update on what we've done over the last couple of days to remind you, Tatjana is from the Nansen Dialogue Center in Serbia, and she presented about the COVID-19 situation in Serbia in particular, and used that to explain the ABC triangle about attitudes, behavior, and context. And this then elicited really active discussion and contributions on the key needs of the participants, from security, solidarity, the economy, also to refugees, migrants. Very, very rich discussion. Yesterday, Wednesday, John presented. John is a peace building expert with years of international experience, working recently particularly in Somaliland and Mindanao. John was looking at a nesting of the individual relationships, structure and culture, and at the 3 P's of conflict analysis: people, process, and problems, with a possible additional 4th component added by Zal of prospect. And the discussion again was very rich, bringing out the importance of youth and of education. Also, we started to look at the vision for afterwards. And we noticed many people pointed out that the structural gaps are growing larger despite the solidarity that there is. So now I would like to hand over to Tatjana, who will remind you more about the ABC and just refresh your minds on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Yes, this is the slide that John prepared, which shows all 3 tools. And on the left-hand side, you can see ABC triangle. That is the simple graphic tool that can help us define, first of all, context of the situation in which we work. Based on the context, on given circumstances in society, or given special situation like it is nowadays, or conflict situation. Many of you are peace builders who work in conflict situation, and you can describe your context. Then we define behavior on people and how both context and behavior influence attitudes of people. So these are three key factors that are interlinked, and in the middle, in order not to forget, very important, we can define the key needs of people. It says here only one, but we can define several, because usually there are several, and during my presentation I mentioned at least three that our key needs nowadays are food, safety, and freedom, actually, to freedom of movement and speech. So that is quickly about ABC. I will add more when I tell you about the task for today's breakout groups. John, will you continue about 3+1P? And
Okay.
okay.
Good. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and a special shout out to Filipino friends, Mike, Joel, and I think there's some others on board here. I appreciate you all joining us today. Yesterday we looked at the nested paradigm, which is the center diagram, and we experience any conflict, and we're focusing on the COVID-19 reality now. So we're experiencing that at an individual level. All of that, how we approach this by ourselves, is within a context of relationships. And all of those relationships exist within the structures around us and also the culture. So there's an interactivity and a connectivity between all of these layers. And if we can pick those apart, we can gain maybe some insights into intervention. The diagram in the upper right-hand corner then, in terms of conflict intervention, three main aspects of that are the people, and those are primary and secondary people. Each person has a motivation, each group of people has a motivation and some needs that they're bringing, which is how it connects into the ABC triangle. The processes with which we intervene, and again, we're suggesting some heart and some head kind of interventions there with each of these. So there are sets of processes that are either, inclusive or exclusive. And then the problem, and I've been thinking about Zoll's contribution of the prospects. Problems and prospects perhaps are two faces of the same coin. If we're depreciative in look, we're picking apart problems, but with each problem is an opportunity or is a prospect for something new. And we said that it seems like this virus is just scattering everything, and we have to kind of rebuild it. And so that is the prospect that we have. I would urge each of you to either take a screenshot or get your cameras out to take a picture of this slide. Unfortunately, when we do breakout groups, we can't take the screen share with us. So I would urge you to either make diagrams or take pictures or take screenshots so that in your discussions, you have the ability to kind of reference the tools that we've given you in the last couple of days. Tanya, back to you. And I don't know if you want the breakout instruction slide with the questions.
Let's keep the tools for now and give some opportunity to participants to make snapshots or to record them in any way they can. So thank you, Zal, and I think this is very important that you mentioned and very good that you stressed actually that problems are opportunities at the same time, particularly in these challenging times. So So, motivation for the group work. Since you're working online, everything is new to us as it is to you, I'm sure. So we decided to give it a go today and to put you in small breakout groups. Christina from GPPAC Foundation will kindly help us with that. Based on the number of participants, which is 56 now, we'll have number in groups. We decided to have seven small breakout groups. And I will tell you about the task. Yeah, before I start talking about your task, John, Lucy, Christina, and I will follow the small groups as much as we could. But if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, like questions of clarification. So today it is the day for testing these tools in practice. So in working groups, we would kindly ask you to take into consideration all these tools in the following way. All of you are peace builders, and there will be many of you in the groups because this group of participants is big, which is great. Try to choose one resource person who will tell you about the context of a situation, I don't know, in Mindanao or in Italy, or there are many of you from all over the world. And that person will be resource person which will tell you in short details of the context situation within which he or she works and how this COVID-19 crisis is affecting that. Most of us are nowadays changing our plan of activities and adapting them to the new realities. So that is our suggestion to you today, to choose one context and to see what type of activities would be appropriate now based on the context that you heard. So actually you will have one case and you will be helping the colleague with your experience and your insight. That is the purpose of today, to share experiences, to have open dialogue within each group, and then to report back also. Try to take into consideration also the levels that John mentioned. So at which level of society would you have your own activities, and who are the stakeholders, from which level they are coming? What kind of relationships are among them, and how can you influence these relationships? Concentrate on attitudes and behavior, because that is what you can do. How can you actually, you will discuss, how can you influence attitudes and behavior of people in the positive way, so that you support some good changes, so that you support peace building activities that you planned. It would be probably helpful for you to use the third tool, this 3P, and to identify the problem. So what is the problem that you want to tackle? So this is, yes, thank you, John. So these are the instructions you can see, and you can also take the snapshot in order for your groups, in order to have them in front of you during the breakout groups. So I can repeat, but I think that we summed it up really well for you. But if you have any questions, just tell us. So choose the context or location on which you will going to work, on which analysis will be applied. I suggest that the resource person would be reporter, but you can choose someone else. We would have very short reporting back because the group is big. Take that into consideration. Decide who are the stakeholders, and then you have the questions. Describe the stakeholders. Who are they? I heard a lot of you saying yesterday that you work with youth. Many of you again work with teachers, with decision makers. Some of you with I know the one colleague at least works with, that is Zal, with decision makers, or combines civil society and decision makers. Then what are their attitudes in the given context? Of course, have the context in mind always. Attitudes and behaviors. And what activities based on that can you create to get to the desired outcomes? And this is 3P that John has just mentioned. And having in mind that you can turn problems into opportunities. I think that is very good advice. We decided to give you 20 minutes for group work because we don't have too much time, as I said, but I think that will be enough. After 10 minutes, we will ask each of you to report back only on activities and outcomes. What is the purpose? Yes?
20 minutes or 10 minutes?
Oh,
you said 10
okay.
minutes.
Oh, 20, sorry. Thanks. 20 minutes for group work. And please report back on outcomes. So what outcomes we expect and what kind of activities will bring about that change. Even if you don't get to the activities, I mean, just tell us what is the purpose of planned activities, because we are aware of the fact that maybe not all of you will be able to fulfill the task completely. Don't worry, just discuss, I mean, because what you will do in the groups have the value in itself. You will discuss, give examples, exchange experiences, and help one colleague to define some of activities. Okay, John, have you got any additions?
I do see a question from Zara.
Okay.
And, so you will be sent to breakout sessions of, it looks like about 7 people per group. Mm-hmm. And then you can discuss the instructions or the questions on the slide, Zara. I hope, and you can figure this out together. And so Christina is going to generate the breakout groups now.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello. Great. Carla, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, great. I believe that I can share my presentation. Sorry, just a second. Let me see, because I saved it. So can you hear? Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So yes, please. So we should start with choosing one of the context, actually from this slide. And then we should also agree who would be a reporter from the group. And then to look at the questions. Describe the stakeholders and their level on the nested paradigm. What are their attitudes and behaviors, ABC triangle? What activities can you create to get the desired outcome?
May I just inquire from which countries are we coming from as a group? If we can briefly introduce each other.
Okay, that's a great idea. My name is Katerina. I was born in Ukraine, but now I live in the Netherlands. I'm a regional coordinator of South Caucasus, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia.
Thank you. My name is Dragana. I'm coming from Nansen Dialogue Center, Serbia, which is also a GPPAC Western Balkans, and I work as a regional coordinator and a regional liaison officer of the GPPAC for the Western Balkans.
Hi everybody, my name is Cata and I am from Mexico. I'm working now as an intern in international statistics
I'm sorry, Carla, but the sound is rather dead, but I could hear you.
Oh, well, I'm gonna try to write.
Okay. So this is 5 of us. Who else is also with us? From which country?
I'm Noriko. I'm from Japan. Sorry, my connection is really weak right now, so I can't see the presentation, but I can hear you guys.
Okay. So Christina, just to confirm, so we should first decide which country we are going to take as the context situation. This is how I understood the task. So we should first choose the resource person among us.
Yes.
Someone who is going to tell us about the context, and then we will help the colleague to think about behaviors and attitudes and activities.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, please.
May I just propose, because I'm coming from Serbia and this context has already been described during the day one session. So if we can hear someone else, I would like that. It's just a proposal, so I just want to hear other people.
So anyone wants to share the experience of their countries? Because I think I can share like a situation in Netherlands, but it's not like that problematic to start with. But yeah, maybe someone has ideas.
I think Carla is having problems with the microphone or the sound. I don't know if you could hear her well.
Yes, I can hear you well, but I'm not sure that you can hear me. Do you prefer I type? I don't know, or can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's a bit.
Yeah, it's like in the background, so the sound is not very good.
Okay.
Maybe
Better now?
yeah, it's much better. Yes, yes. Now
Okay.
now it's good. Yeah.
Well, I can share you a little bit about Chiapas. I'm originally from another state in Mexico, so I don't really know. I don't know really well the situation here. Since I've been in the International Service for Peace for around 2 months, and with this situation, I hadn't had the opportunity to work a lot, but probably many of you know the situation in Chiapas with the Zapatism. I'm sorry, my English is a little rusty. It's been a long time that I don't speak English. So since I work there in the organization, I have, I don't know, probably I can share you the situation of indigenous people who have actually been living the conflicts after the Zapatism and all the all the situations that this has caused. And Chiapas is one of the poorest states in Mexico, so they don't only live conflicts because of like the basic needs, because they don't have access to education, to health, and but also because well, Chiapas has a lot of natural resources, so they have been part of like, I don't know, like projects, extractivism projects, and all the situations with land. And I don't know. I'm really sorry because I don't know a very deep knowledge of conflicts and the context in the state, but as far as I can see, there are a lot of problematics in the state. So, well,
So, to my understanding, we should choose another context then.
okay.
Okay, so maybe I can describe the situation in Ukraine. So maybe this will work for us to start. Or we just stick with the situation in Chiapas and start to answer the questions that are in the chat.
I think so. You can start with Ukraine and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, in Ukraine, the quarantine started in the middle of March. So a little bit of historical context. So now, two eastern regions of Ukraine are occupied by Russian-backed separatists. Crimea was occupied or annexed, as usually it's said. So basically, it's an unrecognized territory. So now Ukraine is in the state of war with Russia, but it's not like it's a hybrid of war. And in the middle of that, we have like this quarantine pandemic situation. And so to describe the activities of governments, they are more likely, like they see what Western countries do with their countries, and they basically copy the activities. So some countries, they close the borders. So basically they close the borders. So there is no airplanes, no trains, no public transport in the big cities. People are working from home, but for majority of them, it's really difficult because the internet connection is bad. So and not all the professions can equally transfer their work environment to their homes. So basically, that's that. Some people lost their job, and it's mostly people who work in the service, so like waiters, hairdressers, and stuff like that. But the main thing that they also they increase the control. They make well, the emergency state is not declared, but still there are quite a feasible increase in the in how police controls citizens. So basically, they find some people that are on the street. They can accuse them in sort of violating the rules of quarantine. So there is this room for repression and of just regular people, and sometimes they also use quarantine as a curtain to cover some unpopular political decisions. So basically, without quarantine, people would go and take the streets, and they will protest from and try to oppose to certain governmental decisions. But now, as everyone is forced to stay at home, there is no way that people can express their will and their support or their voice in the street. So basically, that's that. So, for example, like the changes in government in it's not controlled. So I guess that's the main idea. And also we have the situation when people actually can't find the masks. So if you want to go to buy groceries, you should wear a mask. This is the new law, but you can't buy a mask, like a face mask, because it's now, well, everyone's stockpile on it. And now you can't basically go to the pharmacy and buy it. So now this is a huge problem. So it's not like a big crisis, but it makes people lives a bit uncomfortable, I'd say. Yeah, so yeah. And on the other hand, the government sometimes profits from that situation, because the prices on paracetamol or other drugs or face masks, they just skyrocketed. And yeah, people try to find something to find places where they can buy, for example, the face mask. So it's an unhealthy situation. So basically, it's the main issue, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you, Katerina. So now wondering, shall we look at the questions and what we have respond to, and also if others are having any comments on that?
Thank you, Katerina, for such a detailed description of the context of the situation in Ukraine. Just to clarify with the others, shall we then take this example? I think it's a good example that we can work on with the questions.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Great, great.
Yeah, me too.
I think so too. I'm sorry I couldn't listen to all of it, so I don't know how much I can contribute, but I think it's a good example.
Yeah. So we start with stakeholders.
Okay, stakeholders. Well, as far as I understood you, so first of all, if we want to start from common people, yes.
Yeah.
Common people asking and demanding to be protected in this pandemic.
Yeah.
So citizens, we can say.
Yes, definitely.
Citizens of Ukraine. And we have, on the other side, we have the government officials, right?
Yes, yes.
Who else would you add to this list of the stakeholders, the people that can have influence in this situation?
I would say also media, because sometimes media shares fake news. They sort of increase panic, or just like makes a case out of nothing. So I guess it's also somehow connected to the way Ukrainian government acts, because some of media they owned by those people and some of them not. And also I would add police, because I mean like the institution, but also like some people that can profit from that situation, because they can use their force now to maybe to get some benefit from themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can also relate this situation to Serbia as well, both in terms of the media and freedom of expression and not getting the information, the right information. Would you, for example, add civil society organization as important stakeholders too?
Yeah, I would add it, because we have quite a few organizations of civil society, non-governmental organizations, and just people like volunteering to help other people in need. So like buying products for elderly, just sharing the information, debunking the myths, and then maybe helping some orphanages and other like situations that, yeah. And maybe also I would add I guess like Russian government and maybe government of European Union, because I guess this situation that we are in the midst of this conflict in the east of Ukraine, so maybe those stakeholders, they always stay there. So they also look at the situation and see how it can affect the basic situation in the east. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it relates to the balance of power,
Yeah.
as your country is in this geostrategic position,
yes.
in between these powers.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So have we covered all the stakeholders now, or I think the
I would say I also add medical professionals, as they also like sometimes suffer from fake news, but they also suffer from restriction of the government. For example, there is this special transport for them to go and get to their work but it's also difficult because those transport that government provides from them, it's limited. So for certain doctors or nurses, it's difficult to get to their hospitals as they don't have a car, or like, I would say that can be an issue for them.
Thank you. Thank you. So have we covered the stakeholder question now? I cannot see the screen now.
Well, yeah, I think we covered the stakeholders, and we can also describe them. Oh, we are now out of time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but
no, we still have time. We still have
great.
time. Yeah, we didn't close. Yes. So I was looking at that. Sorry, this is why. Okay, I will share. Can you see it?
Yeah.
What are their attitudes and behaviors? What would you, Katerina, say, for example? I mean, among these stakeholders, it is my understanding that you highlighted the citizens, the common people who are suffering the most.
Yeah. Especially in smaller towns and sort of those that work in the environment, that still have to go to work, or either they can't work from home. That's why they're losing their jobs. Yeah, and so I would say that if we describe the stakeholders on these levels of this scheme of culture, per individual, relational, and structural level, I would say, so common people, they're mostly in individual and relational perspective, yes. So, and media, CSOs, police, government, it's all structural. Yeah, and also I would say that I guess that cultural level is somehow still present in each category. So basically, like, there is this culture to be afraid of police officer, like not, so there is like this mindset, but also some cultural ideas on this post-Soviet idea that you need to stockpile on everything in case there will be no shops open. So that adds up to it. So I guess it's not like a specific like culturally related things in each situation, but I would say it's some tendencies, yeah.
So yeah, you would put it like cross-cutting levels, so it goes through different levels. But it's not only, I think it's not only the situation in your country. It's similar in other countries. This fear of not having the commodities for everyday use, I think.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, if it's even cultural. It is something like global.
Global, yes,
Yeah.
global. But again, I think it goes under individual need for, you know, securing the commodities that you need for everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah, and then maybe for attitudes and behaviors, I would say that we should describe behavior of each of the stakeholders, or how we should go with that.
If we have time, I think, but or we should choose one only.
Yeah, but I guess to describe like common people, if we say that they're the most sort of impacted group, so I would say that on one point they're well, in some ways they help each other, so they like help each other buy groceries, share information, just to check in on elderly people, so on their friends and relatives. But then sometimes there is this division that always present. So for example, if you have like a building like with several few apartments, so, and for example, like this ambulance comes to your building, you try to wonder, oh, maybe there is someone who has coronavirus or something like that. So it it sometimes leads to gossip, to certain so there is this loss of trust to others, so people sometimes avoid each other, or like there is this I would say like cold atmosphere, like yeah, and sometimes people are suspicious, so sometimes they're influenced by conspiracy theories, and that also lead to like just daily conflicts on discussing why is this pandemic happened. So I guess it also leads to this tension. Yeah, and sometimes like I would say that certain part of like common people, they also feel like feel the need to bring someone down. So like some groups that, like for example, homeless people, or in general, like they suffer the most, and yeah, they are seen like just like this pile of infection. So now they probably also struggling to actually stay at the streets and not have any help. So I guess this like pandemic is really polarizing the society. Yeah.
And sorry, Katerina, have we then, I was also looking at the technical stuff, but have we then covered the second question? And also Carla and Noriko, do you have any questions or comments? Could you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry, I keep getting like bad connection, so I couldn't listen to some part of it. But I think we're on the second question right now.
Yeah, so like we agreed that on the nested paradigm, most of stakeholders that I named, they all on the structural level. But then like we can look at common people or medical professionals or CSOs, like in case of like their individual level or relational level as well. But then we can also look at medical professionals and CSOs like structural level. So I'm not sure how to go about that. Yeah, because when we see, for example, like the police, it is structure, but then there is separate police officers that sort of work there, but they try to resolve their individual needs while violating someone's freedom, for example. So it's not like specifically whole system is corrupted, but it's sort of there. So
I think that you described, you described well the both the behavior and the attitudes of more specifically common people. And I understand that there are several kinds of behaviors. There is solidarity on one hand between the people who are in need mostly. And but on the other hand, there is a mistrust. And there is mistrust and a fear from getting the virus, which is again on individual level. It goes to basic need of being safe and healthy. And there is also discrimination against the most vulnerable groups. I would somehow sum this up as the key types of behavior. At least this is how I understand.
Yeah.
But what would you then say about the attitudes of the people?
You mean attitudes to this situation, the pandemic, or like I wasn't present during the first day, so I'm not sure what should I put there. Like
I think the attitudes of for the common people, as they are somehow the group that you described most.
Well,
for example, you mentioned in terms of solidarity, there is volunteering, and I assume the young people are doing that a lot. And
yeah, so well, I would say that there is a always like an active part of society. So some people just being like some of those common people, they're really proactive, and they focused on resolving the situation in most positive way. So I would say that, but then there is like a certain amount of people who just who like to speculate on things, share fake news. So, and I guess that somehow calms them down, so to reduce like this level of anxiety and fear in them, because they can discuss it, but then they share this false information and xenophobia. And yeah, so like we can just say that there is like an active part of common people that is actually doing something that can help others. But yeah, I would say like that. So, and this is okay. So we have 7 more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe we can skip to the activities.
I think so. I was going to suggest that, because we don't have much time, but we covered the 2 questions. And as you mentioned, so many common people are trying to calm down the situation. So who can help them? How you as a peace builder or your colleagues working in Ukraine can support these people, common people, to overcome this situation?
Well, I would say the major thing that we can do is just to sort of share the information, and sometimes we may share it not just in our circles, but like there is like some Facebook groups or something that spreads fake news. So I guess certain people that prone to reading those fake news. They
You know, it
Oh, we're
feels so
back.
weird. Yeah, it's like so weird to stay 1.5 meters away from people, not having any kind of physical contact. And I think even if every single business starts working again, people will have this fear living inside of them. And I think we need to have a lot of mental shift in order to be able to deal with life normally and to reconcile with life. I mean, not just go back to the routine, but also start living fully right again. And this mental part just seems to be like a heavy thing for me, like a project, not just the thing that we can say, okay, so COVID is done, let's go back to life. I don't think it's going to be like that.
Yeah, that's true. That I agree. That's true. It will not that easy, and maybe it will go back eventually, but there will be already some uh like what you have mentioned earlier, guarded moments, guarded points or guarded moments
Yeah.
that you cannot just easily, do what you were doing before COVID, because during COVID you are also starting to learn something.
Exactly.
I think you know what mental health and psychological effects of this COVID. This is where I was expecting some artists to do some uh, um, to help people express themselves through songs
Yeah.
and art contests or art shows, presentations, something like that. Create some projects and programs for people to express themselves online. And yeah, I was I am expecting a certain group of people from art and entertainment industry to help people cope up with cope with the current situation by expressing themselves. So I hope some organizations will organize activities like that online.
That would be actually really nice. And I remember something super creative that I wanted to share with you. In Iran, we have a movement which is super cool going on. We call it reverse income, where businesses who are renting a place and cannot pay their rent due to lockdown and not having any business right now are pre-selling their tickets. Even if it's a restaurant, for example, you buy a coupon worth, let's say, $100, but you actually pay $60. Because you're
Oh,
paying in advance, you're helping them pay their rent right now and pass their financial crisis and stay
mhm,
active as a business once COVID is gone. And then once
mhm.
they're open again, you can go and spend your coupon. You can even gift them, you can
Redeem.
buy whatever you want, you can donate. There are many different options, and this has helped about 10 or 12 of my favorite businesses, because a lot of coffee shops and restaurants and bookstores are closing, they cannot pay the rent. But this reverse income idea has
Mhm.
actually been really helpful to some of the businesses.
Wow, that's true. It's like spending and say for like for the consumer, it will be like saving while spending because they are going to redeem it after, right?
Yeah, they're going to redeem it afterwards, but it's like they don't know when they will be able to open up. So because you're paying them in advance, you actually help them avoid a shutdown, a complete shutdown, or like major problems.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, the
Actually, it's like
surprising
the
part,
concept. Yeah, go
go on
ahead, please.
please. The
Yes,
surprising
yours.
part is how inclusive it is, because they include almost any type of business. You can even pay in advance for stationery and anything that you can imagine. And any business that wants, they just send their contract for their rent to show that they really need this money. And they send a picture of their business to show that they were active before COVID, and they're in the system, and it's like super super nice, I think.
I the idea actually is similar with what's this with gift checks, because here in the Philippines we have gift checks that the value of the gift check is 100 pesos, but you are buying it in advance at 80 pesos only. So it's like a discounted coupon. So yeah, that's nice. It's good to maintain the business, and plus advantageous for the customer because they are getting a good deal when they are going to redeem the coupon.
Oh, I didn't know you have it. It's so cool to know there are so many similarities between countries.
Hello, are we back?
Yes.
Yes, we are here.
Yes, we're back.
Oh, okay, good. Good. Excellent group work, I have to say.
Fully agreed.
Thank you, Tatjana.
Thank you for your context and all inputs.
Yes.
You're welcome, everyone.
Yes. That was very good to hear something which is on the other side of planet Earth.
Okay, so if everyone is back, now we agreed as facilitators, 4 of us, to give 3 minutes for reporting back. Oh, I can see that not everyone is back probably, but we'll see. In any case, 3 minutes for reporting from each group. I think that we will be able to cover that in order to have a little bit extra time if people from other groups want to ask you something.
Great. Thank you, Tanya.
Are we all back? I'm not sure, Lucy. Can you see if we are all back?
I think everyone has to be back.
Okay,
We got
good.
cut off.
Good. So I don't know where to start. Well, whichever group wants to go first, you can start reporting. Orange team. Aha. Lucy, are you?
I didn't see what color we were.
No. I'm asking, will you facilitate this reporting, or shall I do it? It's all the same.
I'm happy either way, Tanya. I didn't see any different names of groups, though, actually.
Okay, ours was black, and I can see that orange is coming. So orange group, would you like to report first?
Hi everyone. Okay. I guess we'll start. I'm Katrina. I'm from the Philippines. 3 of my group mates are also 2 of my group mates are also from the Philippines. I also have with me is Natasha and Yun. Okay. So we chose we narrowed the context to the Philippines. And one of the compelling issues in the Philippines is the human rights violations. So we have discussed the increase in gender-based violence. There's also police brutality. Also the struggles of the internally displaced persons, the access to health, and the struggle of the daily wage earners, and of course the freedom of expression. So
okay.
So of course right now the general population is generally feeling some sort of anxiety due to the potential economic and financial instability. And to add to that, there is also fear that state forces like the police and the military can potentially commit human rights abuse, human rights violations. Say, for example, in the Philippines, just yesterday, a former member of the Philippine Army was shot twice and was dead on arrival, and was declared dead on arrival because police said that he violated the quarantine protocols. Just today, it was reported that he was found with a .38 caliber, but this person is has experienced post-traumatic stress disorder because he was a former military and he was displaced during the Marawi siege. Now, with this rising rising violence from state forces, we believe that it is high time really for human rights organizations to strengthen their networks. Since we are all working remotely, one of the things that we see is to maximize the use of social media in order to gather human rights advocates, human rights organizations, and especially the legal community in order to provide assistance to those who are in need. Also, they play an important role in disseminating information, especially when it comes to asserting the right of individuals whenever just in case they are violated by the state. Nevertheless, we also see that one of the things that we want is that we don't end up experiencing massive human rights abuses. We don't want that. So what we as much as possible, we want to prevent human rights abuses, so that and one of the things that we think we can do about that is by also creating partnership with local government units, with the government, so that we keep them in check and accountable for whatever it is for however they plan to implement the lockdown.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I will have to interrupt you because of the time, so we can save time for the other groups. Can I ask, did you come up with some concrete activity?
The one of the concrete activity that we planned is establishing an online network of all human rights organizations, where a database of human rights organizations will be. There will be a database of human rights organizations, and these human rights organizations will be grouped according to the sectors that they serve, and they will also be building partnership with the legal community.
Okay, thank you. And maybe any questions for this group? Brief. Okay, if not, can we hear then another group? I can see that the context of Yemen was shared in the chat. So probably most of you saw it, and maybe it would be then easiest to continue with the Yemen situation. Who is reporter from this group, please?
Okay, I'm Razza from Yemen. Hi, everyone. The
Hello.
context, yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay, I am.
Yes, yeah. We can hear you, I think. Yes.
Yeah, the context is in Yemen. Yemen is affected by violent conflict here, and there are limited resources. Not many tests are made for COVID-19. Only the cheap fever. Restaurants still and markets are open. People can go out easily, but it's not allowed to move from one to another. And also the government is most of the workers, and only 20% of the workers can go to work.
Sorry, Shadi, I have to ask you to come closer to the mic, please, because you're breaking up.
Okay, sorry.
And please, since I interrupted you, we saw your context. If you can just stress what your group came up with. Did you suggest which group of stakeholders would you like to work and some activities? Which problem exactly are you tackling?
Maybe Shadi can say that about that.
Shadi, can we hear you?
Okay, I think you can hear me right now. correct?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I decided to chat, like put the comments we had in the chat box because we discussed it, and Ghazza, who's actually from Yemen, was going to speak in case people have special questions about Yemen. But if you like, I can always share.
I'm not sure that I understood now. So who if group decided that Shadi talk, whoever group decided to be the reporter is fine with us. So please continue.
Oh, well, we decided for Ghazza to be the reporter, but I typed because so yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can share. Just just tell us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for Rahmat and Ghazza. For our group, so we discussed the context of Yemen because it's also affected by violent conflict. There are very limited resources. There's not many testing abilities, and they only do a fever check. So this is mainly the context. The restaurants and markets are open and people are still free to move around. However, there is not intercity movement allowed. There are no gatherings allowed, and people are supposed to work at 20%. So of an organization of 100 people, only 20 people come to work and the rest work remotely. As I explained, the paychecks are not affected yet. There's also the problem of transparency because they've only confirmed one case, and unfortunately caused a little bit of distrust between us and people. This is more or less about the context. Schools and universities are closed as well. We chose the stakeholders as government and people. So the government is taking it a little bit more seriously now. They're using their military as an intervention to stop intercity movement, and they are putting more enforcements on not letting people attend group meetings. So if someone is having a group meeting in their organization, their government officials stopping it from happening. There was a discussion on the behaviors of citizens who are not really acting so much the whole, let's say, the whole enforcement that exists, and the fact that they're not able to go around as freely as they could has not caused them to rant because they still have more freedom compared to other countries. The distress is mostly because there is a very little statistics shown. So this is the attitude that they have. They have a lot of trust issues right now.
Okay.
And the government still has the attitude of trying to pretend things are fine, but at the same time taking some measures and yet not being able to announce transparently what's exactly happening. If I missed something, please feel free to correct me, but I think this was the discussion of our group. And thank you. I hope I was timely.
Thank you very much. I think that gave us a really good overview. So we can go to the report of another group. I saw that in the chat. I saw that the red group is ready. Is red group going to start reporting, perhaps?
Yes, please. Let's hear from the red group. Okay, but we're going to be stricter about time. I'm going to be watching for 3 minutes. Please try to focus.
Okay. Reporting on behalf of Red Group, there were 4 participants from Montenegro, Kenya, Mexico, Chiapas, and China, Beijing, if I'm pronouncing correctly. We were first discussing our local contexts, and somehow we came to the conclusion to discuss more in details how to address people who don't have a fixed income or regular payments, and about their living costs, life situation, and how can they handle everything. We were identifying stakeholders that can be involved, starting from government, social welfare, different institutions, entrepreneurs, small and medium companies, but we also came to the conclusion that somehow in smaller local communities, schools also can be stakeholders and can help in a way of recognizing those families who are in a need. We were also thinking about how actually it is possible to help each and every single family that needs some kind of help, and we came up to the conclusion that maybe some kind of public opinion research or needs survey should be done in each of the communities so that we can actually address individual needs. Some people are in need of basic items, some people are in need to lower their rents or credits, or different points are necessary. So we actually were thinking about that it would be a nice way from each government to have some kind of online platform where people can actually apply for the specific help that they would need, and in that way individual needs would be addressed. It would be also good to raise awareness on necessity of helping, and that is something that is being done in each of these mentioned countries. The different stakeholders are trying to help those in need and trying to raise awareness who needs help, also to advocate to financial institutions to lower, for example, real estates or credits, to lower the fees so that they contribute in that way. And something that we definitely think is necessary in this condition is constantly promoting solidarity, first starting from the local communities and then on national level, so that those people who can actually help to people in need. So that's mostly our conclusions.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So many really useful practical suggestions that I think can be applied in many different contexts. Thank you so much. And you stuck to the time. So now we'll try the green group, please. Or, okay. No green group. Pink? Pink group?
Yes,
black?
yes, I can. Yeah, I'm from the pink group. I can start. I've already written some key conclusions. Okay. So we were talking about the situation in Ukraine. There were 5 of us, I think, from Ukraine, Mexico, Serbia, Japan, and sorry if I missed out one country. So Katerina was kindly explaining the situation from the Ukraine, and emergency state is not declared. However, police and the government controls the citizens and using the lockdown to cover political decisions. So as everyone has to stay at home, there are no protests and no voices can be heard in the streets. The key problem is that the health protection is jeopardized as there are not enough masks to buy by the common people, common citizens, and the government profits from the situation. So about the stakeholders, common people, media, civil society organizations, governments, we have volunteers, youth, and also as the country is in such geopolitical position, there are influences of both the Russian government and the EU as such. We were talking about the attitudes and behavior of the people. On one hand, there is this solidarity felt among the people, especially young people helping the elderly, and in general, solidarity is noticed. On the other hand, there is a mistrust and fear because everyone is concerned about the health, mistrust among the people toward each other in terms of if I'm going to catch COVID or not. And there is a discrimination and xenophobia against the most vulnerable groups. For example, Katerina mentioned the homeless people. So we have a variety of behaviors. We focused the plan of activities on the common people, and the people that are living in the rural areas are most affected by the lack of news, lack of access to information. And in order to do that, perhaps they could be distributed the leaflets, and they are not, they don't have internet connection as well. And solidarity should be spread among the common people as such, to pass on the positive messages, you know, apart from the recommendations by the World Health Organization, to highlight unity of the people and not the fear among your neighbor, among the neighbors and the people that are living in your local community. So civil society, of course, organizations can be helpful to distribute leaflets, but also to spread the information and to prevent spreading of fake news among people. About the levels, Katerina mentioned that the common people and civil societies should be, they are on the level of individual and relationship, as well as medical workers. And
okay, Tatjana, I'm sorry to hurry you, but your 3 minutes are up. Please, could you wrap up?
That's it, basically. We stick to the common people and the activities that can be done to prevent the fake news spreading and to highlight the solidarity and unity among the people.
Okay. Thank you very much. Could we have the yellow group next, please? I think we can go a little bit over our time, but we need to stick to the 3 minutes. Hello?
Hello, yes, I'm from the yellow group.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna start. We talked about our context. Our context is Iran. And we talked about the problems such as depression, stress, financial issues, and how people gonna react after this quarantine time, after this COVID-19 will be over. And then we talked about what was our plans as a peace builder if there was not any COVID-19. We wanted to negotiate and cooperate with NGOs and as a peace builder. So we're gonna have some problem after that, and because of that depression and the financial issues. We discussed that maybe a simple way that we can motivate the youth is that maybe we can use a platform like this online webinars as we are here and we are participating now. We can make this platform for youth and maybe give them a chance to share their experience, share their opinion, and the brainstorm about people, process and problem and prospect actually, so they can maybe share their opinion and be the maybe their voice will be reached to us, and maybe they will get motivated as we got. And this is our concrete activity that we are gonna use after this COVID-19 to solve this problem. We concluded that this is a very good and simple way for get them motivated. I think I finished less than 3 minutes.
Yes, you did. And yes, you completed in record time, and very interesting suggestion. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Thank you. And useful, nice to know about the online being such an attractive feature.
Yes, it was, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Could we? I think we have 2 groups left: green and black. So either green or black, please.
I can go, if that's okay, with green.
Great. Okay, and we have blue apparently. So green we're doing now. Great. Thank you, Yasmin.
Okay, we're doing black, but then green can go, of course. So we discussed the Philippines, and we firstly talked about a little bit about the conflict there and how they've been dealing with situations so far. So some of the key highlights that were shared when we were just talking a bit about the context was that information about government programs that have to do with COVID-19 and preventing the spread of the virus are not always clearly passed to communities because of issues of internet connectivity, for example. Although the government tries to spread information through TV station and Facebook pages, also there are some issues related to socioeconomic class differentiation. For example, not everyone has the same level of internet connectivity. Also in the Philippines, it was really important that it was highlighted that the present conflict in Mindanao also causes some issues. It's not that the conflict just stopped because COVID-19 started. So there are a lot of impacts of this conflict in how the situation is currently being handled. A fear that they have is of course, a total lockdown because it would impact people significantly. However, the problem that we chose to really focus on is how the situation is being politicized, specifically in Mindanao, and how there are tensions between the regional government and the local government. And the mayor has a certain perspective that she sees as protecting the city, but then you have the regional government also seeing that they need to be more involved. So for example, the regional government has to conduct emergency operations to be able to go inside the city. And then the bigger goal of why this situation has been politicized is that they will be running for office of the Bangasmaro regional office. So having elections coming up is really exacerbating the conflict and making people more divided. So a suggestion that was made by Joelle, who works in the Philippines and presented this conflict, was to have an online call to coordinate all the different parties. And all the groups thought it was such a great idea because it brings different stakeholders together and it really shows the power of civil society in being a great mediator. And during this online coordination call, they can discuss what the regional government can do, what the local government can do, and also what they're capable of doing themselves. Some key stakeholders that we thought about when we presented when we were discussing this online call to coordinate the efforts were the journalists that are trying to stay neutral but don't have a very active role sometimes. Also social media. Some are supporters of either side, and they do voice their opinion regularly. Also humanitarian workers and civil society have been very active and can have a key role here. Joel shared that the Office of the Presidential Advisor can be a convener in bringing this platform together. Also the Secretary of the Department of the Interior. The group suggested that it would be really,
Yasmin, I'm sorry, your time is running out. It's great to hear in such detail and that it's been you've thought through it all so much. Do you have a quick point to make just before you close?
Sure. So the goal of this online coordination call would be to ensure that there is successful dialogue before the elections and for them to agree on how to cooperate at different levels for the greater benefit of the citizens.
Thank you very much. Very, very interesting. We've learned a lot about the Philippines today. We still have two groups, blue and green. Either one, please just open your mic and speak. I know the group I was in hasn't spoken yet.
Are we purple or blue?
Blue, probably. I've no idea, but I assume we're
Okay,
blue.
okay. Then I can say something about Hong Kong and the Philippines because yeah, we our group we have Yemen, Hong Kong, Philippines, Pakistan, and Somalia and UK. Each member talk a little bit about their regional issues. So mainly Hong Kong. The major issue is the political thing because last year's anti-government protest just finished, and then the virus came in. So at the beginning, the government really had a hard time to implement the quarantine rules and the policies, but with the global-wise spread out the information on the virus, and also more overseas students came back to Hong Kong. Now the government is more strict on the quarantine policies and the implementation. So things are getting control now. But the other issue is the cultural conflict, because people who believe in you know, different cultural system and just don't follow the quarantine rules. So that's Hong Kong. Philippines, we have very good review, talk about the military engaged in lockdown. And also what I heard from the Filipino case, many other members didn't address, is the poverty issue, because the lockdown is not a problem, but people with little savings and people who's losing their jobs are may suffer, because later on with the extension of quarantine periods, people who's living under privilege line may have financial issue. Our group didn't talk about specific suggestions or procedures for dealing these regional problems, but that's our group's discussion. Lucy?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, we actually spent a lot of time hearing, because there was such a lot of variety in the group. Okay, so I think we have one group left, the blue group. John, I think you said that's yours.
And I'm just going to read what Natalie has. Natalie had to leave. She was our reporter. So she put, we discussed the Philippines. Here there's a lack of access to information and delays in the result from testing. A number of infected people within provided statistics has not changed since March, which shows that there's delays in reporting. People also have one pass per household and can only leave the house on certain days per week. This is enforced by our military and the government, who are, of course, stakeholders. Other stakeholders include volunteer groups trying to feed in the front lines, and they have to use their pass for this. There's also a limit in freedom of expression, including within the health as, let's see, one act which has a provision for no negative commentary being allowed on social media posts. This is difficult when there are already restraints on stepping out to speak up. We have decided that COVID-19 has provided common ground for an opportunity to for cross-country communication. This is an opportunity to share information, provide support, and use peace-building techniques to respond to the crisis. So I think there's a minute if anyone else in Blue Group wants to add anything. If not, Lucy, back to you.
Well, I would really just like to thank everyone, our two brilliant trainers, all the participants. I've learned so much, and I think it's been an amazing 3 days. I hope you all feel the same. We will be asking you for evaluation. And particularly in the evaluation, we would like to hear from you what kind of follow-up or next steps you would be interested in. And I hope that you will all, I mean, yes, it's easy to talk about follow-up and staying connected, but this has really been, I think, a very, very special experience. And I hope that we can find a way to keep those who would like to stay connected with each other. And we heard also a lot of really practical suggestions for activities, and we've heard a lot about the need for solidarity. So I think this, to me, this training has given a lot of feeling of solidarity and a lot of opportunity, and I hope that we can build on it. And thank you again, all of you. Thank you, GPPAC, the team who've been making this work, Christina, Denise, John, Tanya again, and all of you. And wishing you to stay very safe, very well, make the most of this extraordinary time. And thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Lucy. I also want to thank you for excellent facilitation. And actually, the whole team that you mentioned made this possible, not only John and me. So thank you very much. And I would like to thank all participants who participated during all 3 days. Today was very fruitful. So thank you very much for all results and all suggestions that you sent. For me, this was a great experience. Bye for now.
And I would second Tanya's. So thank you, everybody, and great to meet you. Stay well. And
Thank you. Thank you. Stay well.
Thank you all. Nice to hear you laugh there, Ling.
Thank
you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to meet you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Tanya. Bye, Dorcas.
Thank you
so
all. Bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
John.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.